Everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, International Warring Out There, Me and Most Sincere Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a multi-talented Australian musician who was born in the UK, playing guitar and mandolin in his own band in the 90s and 2000. And basically, he's been doing a lot of recording, touring internationally as a bassist with a renowned celebrity-led pub band. We'll find out what that is.
Yes.
And his recent releases were influenced by visiting Austin, Texas to record at Willie Nelson's studio. He has loyal followers on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, and more as well, too. And he's also got a new release called Say You'll Come With Me, featuring the title track. Tell Me One Thing. We'll play it at the end of the audio version of the program. This time, Kiss the World Away and more. Live, ladies and gentlemen, Plus Studios from somewhere in the beautiful land of Down Under, the multi-talented Australian musician, guitarist, bassist, and born in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Garth Adam. Garth, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Mike. It's good evening from Australia.
Well, that's why it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's 24/7. That's the beauty of this whole thing, too. It's like, you can have breakfast at 6 a.m. in Los Angeles. You can tune in or have lunch in London, or you can have dinner time in Moscow. If you can't get to sleep at 2 a.m., well, you've got us right here in Tokyo. So that's the best part. Or even in Sydney, Australia, so wherever you are. So, so you're a multi-talented Australian musician. You're born in the UK. You were playing guitar, mandolin in your own band in the 90s and 2000. And you were recording, touring internationally as a bass player with a renowned local celebrity pub band. And you have recent releases influenced by visiting Austin, Texas, recording Willie Nelson's studio. And you have loyal followers on Spotify, YouTube, and more. And you have a new release called Say You'll Come With Me, featuring the title track, Tell Me One Thing, and more. And before getting all that, Garth, tell us how you first got started.
I first got started with my parents getting me a classical guitar. So
Nice.
did that for quite a long time. And then I got hooked on bands in high school, and I could never really let go. So I went through different bands. Sometimes I got to write songs in some of those bands. Sometimes I joined a band where there was already a really good songwriter. It was hard to get anything in. And then as I went on, I really felt like I got better at writing, and I really wanted to just write my own songs and concentrate on doing those more. And I really just absolutely loved recording, especially when you do it with friends. You start off with a little demo, and then when everybody puts their parts in it, you just come out with, it's just such a kind of a joyous experience to see how it starts and where it finally ends.
Mm-hmm. Certainly did as well, too. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
I think a friend that were older than me in high school started taking me to see concerts, and I got to see some early bands that I really loved. Funny enough, I really loved, when I was young, I really loved Brian Ferry. And then funny enough, I used to really like some of the Texan American bands, and I was a bit late to the party by the found out, but I really loved Little Feat when I was really young. And then when I went to America, I discovered so many bands, particularly in Austin and things like that. And I've not that they were all from Austin, but I saw a lot of them there. And I fell in love with Wilco and the National, who I've just seen. They often come to Australia, which is great, so I get to see them there. And I just fell in love with the business. I feel like, as much as I like writing and playing music, I feel like a real fan as well. I'm a big fan of seeing other people. So even if I didn't play myself, I'd still be an enormous fan if I never learned how to play a note. Because I really like being, and as much as I like playing, I like also seeing other artists as well. I really get a kick out of that.
That's really interesting. And of course, Willie Nelson is one of your influences. And who are some of your favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up, especially in Australia?
Neil Finn, I think, it's a big one. I still love what he does to this day. And I've been trying to tick off and see all the heroes as they've come through. I got, like the sort of classic ones. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I got to see Paul McCartney last November. He hadn't been
Oh,
to Australia for a
nice,
long
nice.
time, which is amazing. And it's just incredible how much joy there was in the audience. People were just almost overwhelmed. They were so happy. There was like, yeah, it was like almost a, a really special experience. I spoke to other people there, and it was just like, they would have paid anything to be there, to be honest. And what I like going through is I love people who just craft really good songs. I think of songwriting as a craft, because it is something that you do get better at, and you do have to practice, and you have to understand that, what you like. If you want to be successful, you've got to write something that somebody else can listen to and enjoy as well, because I've written a lot of songs that I myself enjoyed at the time, and then I played them back a bit later as a demo. I think, oh, not so sure about that one. And it's a really hit or miss business. I think, it's like writing a good song is a little bit like a needle in a haystack. You write so many parts of songs or songs to get one that you're kind of proud of. And that, in some ways, that's joyful, but also equally frustrating, because you can go through long periods of just doing stuff that is just not any good. But I've always been told, just keep persisting. The only way you write a good song is write a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mainly base your songs and lyrics on?
I funny enough, I base them a little bit on myself, and in a with a so hopefully not unidentifiable way, the experiences of friends.
Mm.
So a lot of my stuff is about people's interaction and how they go, and a lot of it is maybe it's a little bit of me, and a lot of the ones I've written, I know exactly. I've written about, and I'm careful, but I've written it about someone else's experience that I've understood, and it's an interesting process, because you don't deliberately say what you're going to write about. It sort of, you get an idea and it comes to you, and sometimes the words come first, sometimes the music comes first, but one or other of them kind of, if the writing process is going well, it kind of guides you. And sometimes it just sort of, it feels like it falls out of the sky. I wrote that song called "This Time," and I think the whole thing came in half an hour, everything.
Wow. Okay.
And then other times I've written one good chorus, and it stays with me for ages. And then, like months later, I said, "Oh, that's it. That's how the other bit goes. That's how the verse goes in."
It's more like a light bulb moment for you, right? It's like light
It
bulb.
is,
I'm gonna write
yeah.
a song, like, or get up at 3 a.m., write something down, bam, light bulb.
Yeah. Well, what I do, and I heard Bruce Springsteen does this. If I get an idea, and unfortunately, you don't get your good ideas when you're ready to write a song. You get them like in the most inconvenient of times. So if I get one that's inconvenient, I just grab my phone and hum it in, and then wait till I can get home, or wait till I can get in front of a recorder and put it down, because they don't come on command, unfortunately.
Or you can use your phone nowadays too. You can do that.
Yeah, no,
And
the
pen
phone.
and paper for some, which I still do at times.
Yeah, or notes, but yeah, and you just you get a kernel of an idea, and sometimes it's a really good one. You don't know what the other bits are that you have to put either side of it, but that little 10 seconds or 20 seconds is something you want to keep, and you're going to wait for the other pieces to come.
That's really interesting. And who are some of your other favorite songwriters growing up?
Well, let's see. I I I really love sort of Bowie. I mean, all the classic ones. I really like songs, not so much. I sort of focus on the songs rather than the artists. So I like songs that I think are great. So some songs get covered by a lot of people. Like, I think Tom Petty is an amazing songwriter,
Oh,
and
one
I
of the
like
best.
songs. And then and then in more recent times, I think Jason Isbell is an amazing songwriter, and his lyrics are just really quite something. And there's a band out of California, and forgive my pronunciation, it's spelled Dawes, and I know you pronounce it a little differently.
And what's the spelling again?
Dawes. Dawes.
Daws. I think it's Dawes or something. So
Yes, that's it.
it's
Yeah,
subject to interpretation.
yeah. So they're, and so they're good. What's good about some of those is they've got a melody, and their words are great. The lyrics are fantastic, and you can have fantastic lyrics, but if you don't have a melody to carry it, it won't be listened to. It's got to kind of have both. And if they both work together and you can pull it off, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And certainly amazing as well, too. You've got some amazing work with Say You'll Come With Me, featuring the title track, Tell Me One Thing. This is Garth Adam and Kiss the World Away and more. We'll be talking more with Australian Garth Adam, but first listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at soundclapstudios.com for all you need. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundClap Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. In Evil and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, and Eminence. So grab your copy today. Fergo's Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple, Odyssey, and follow us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, and also follow us on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and more at The Mike Wagner Show. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You're here with the multi-talented Australian musician playing guitar, mandolin in his own band, 90s and 2000. He's got a new release called Say You'll Come With Me. Garth Adam here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about your releases and your latest, tell us about your journey going from the UK to Australia.
That was my father worked for the British government, and that took him around the world. And it's a little bit like the military families, and then the family goes in tow. And then, so we went from England to Africa to Fiji, and then finally to Australia.
Wow.
And he, by the time I was and my sister were heading towards high school, my mum said, we can't keep moving this much. We've got to, for high school, it's not so good to be so disruptive. So we landed in Adelaide. And then, funnily enough, he kept traveling.
It's like, I want to continue, Mom. I want to continue. I want to fly.
He was one of those people that wasn't a big city person. He sort of put up with it. Adelaide's not a particularly big city, but it's too big for him. And then he decided when we were through school, at high school, came in and out and went worked in Indonesia for the UN. So we settled in Australia, and then, as I said, Adelaide's not a really very big city, and the band I was in, we were just, and some friends of us, we said, we're not going to get anywhere here. We're going to have to move to a bigger city. So we ended up here. So, it's that same thing. It's the small town thing going to the big town.
Oh, my.
But I met a lot
of
musicians. Yeah. So it's been great. I met a lot of musicians, and including the people that, still record with me to this day, or I met in Sydney.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then you also had your own music too, like This Is Garth Adam, Kiss the World Away on the EP. You also had some other releases like This Time and Forever and a Day, Seawall, and Overcome Highway, and everything like that, or Overseas Highway, I should say. And tell us about some more songs.
Yeah. So there's a little team of people that I work with pretty much all the time, and Uh, so it's my producer, Melvin Tree, who's actually based in Perth, Western Australia now, and Dave Kelly, who I've played with for years. There's another guy who's played with me called Doug Sandrini. And so it's good. I can play a lot of the instruments myself, but it's good having other people come in. And the other good thing about them, and including they're all good singers. And as you heard on the most recent EP, that's Melvin's partner and his daughter singing backups.
Oh, wow.
So I was
Okay.
very lucky to have them there. So that was really fun. And they funny enough, they run a singing school in Perth. So they just really know what to do.
Or at least get some singers to help out in class, classmates. Here, want to sing on this album? Sure, why not? We'll give you some credit. If you want an A, come sing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, they love singing, so it was fun. They just came in and did it. It cost me pizzas.
sing for pizza. I love that one. Instead of singing for your supper, singing for coffee, sing for pizza. We're gonna have to start a new we're gonna have to start a GoFundMe crowd, whatever it is. Sing for pizza.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
Mm. And plus, too, in the turn there during your journeys as well, too. You're going from UK to Africa to Fiji to Australia. You made a stop in the UK as well, or in Austin, Texas, and going to Willie Nelson's studio. And tell us more about that experience.
Well, that was recording with another band, the Celebrity Pub Band, and what was great about that is I I just it was a type of music that I wasn't really familiar with. It was a different type of sound. There were a lot of kind of alt country players there, and we got to see a lot of other musicians. And it was after that trip that I picked up the mandolin, funnily enough, because
Oh,
I'd
nice.
never thought
Okay.
to play it. And I heard these guys play it, and I thought, wow, that sounds fantastic. I could use that. And so that was. I'd never even thought to buy one. I don't think I even looked at one in the shop until then, until I saw people in Austin play them. And then a lot of slide, and it's sort of it was an interesting town. It was not. It was kind of country, kind of rock, kind of blues. But a bit of a thing there, and it just had so many different musicians playing there. It was such an eye opener. And the studio was beautiful, and it was run by his family, and they were lovely to us. So it was a really fantastic experience,
Oh
and
my.
it changed my writing coming out of that town. I saw a lot of other people in it. You know how sometimes it's sort of a penny drops, and you see something that you just hadn't heard people do things that way. It was that kind of experience.
Hmm. It sounds like it. Penny from heaven, they say. Pain drops and all that. And tell
Yeah.
me about the celebrity pub band as well too. I love hearing about this.
All right. So that started. That was with an actor called Russell Crowe, who you may have heard of. And how that started was pretty low key, actually. He had come over from New Zealand,
Hmm.
and I started a band with a friend of his that had a band in New Zealand, and then that was another guy called Dean, and then he said to us, he said Russell came up and he said, "Oh look, I'd like to do a band thing again in Australia, like I did in New Zealand." And Dean said, "Well, we've already got something going. Do you want to shall we just merge it together?" And so we merged this three-piece band, and then we got another person, and it just got bigger and bigger. But it,
Almost
it,
like an
it
orchestra.
yeah, it was just really for fun. It was just an outlet, and we didn't really have grand plans, and it just grew gradually, and then uh, it got really enjoyable. So we started playing all around Australia. Then we went to New Zealand, and then we went to Europe, and then we went to North America, and it just it just became a bigger thing. So it was fun in and around things, and it was a good way to see a lot of other musicians and a lot of other things and record in different places. Every place you go to, you learn something from it, and you see other people play or how they record. It all adds to what you know. You get a lot from just observing other people that are really good at this.
Hmm. And what would you say? What was your favorite city to play?
Ooh. Well, Austin was because I had fond memories. I think where's the other place? Another place that was really fun to play was Portland. And another really fun place to play, I forgot about that, is Chicago.
Oh, yes, the Windy City. Lots of great blues over there. And of course,
So
they have the chess records, the
yeah,
museum and building and everything where Buddy
yeah,
Guy
it's a
and
fantastic
all that,
city.
Muddy Waters. Yes.
Plus, architecturally, it's such an interesting place with all the canals, and it was my it when I looked, I thought, so this is where Batman comes from because it looks like Gotham City.
And must have took Robin with as well too. So we
Yeah.
have that.
So yeah, so I got to play there. I played there. I think in all up, I played at the House of Blues 7 times. So it was a really lovely place to
Oh,
play.
that's a great place. House of Blues.
Mm.
You gotta love it.
And you know what was great about it? I'd never been. Well, the second time we passed through there, and it was just a great thing. I got, and this was before he passed. Fortunately, it was very close to the end. I got to see James Brown, which was a real treat. It was one of those, tick the boxes off. I'd love to see that guy, and that was really good at that same place. So that was a good memory.
Oh, wow. Okay. James Brown of all people. That is interesting. And of course, you made your own mark too with Tell Me One Thing and CEO Come With Me. We'll get more on that with Garth Adam. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Zia Missing. We'll be back with the melted talented Garth Adam from Australia after this time. We're back with the melted talent Garth Adam here on the Mike Wagner Show, and covering the journey going from UK to Australia, where he's at right now, and all over and experiencing Willie Nelson. And plus, you got your latest release, Say You'll Come With Me, featuring the title track, and Tell Me One Thing. And tell us about those two, and what inspired you to write the album and the lyrics, the music of Say You'll Come With Me.
Uh, well, those songs when the COVID when we were I don't know in Australia we had a really hard lockdown in Australia,
Oh
so
my
we really
gosh,
couldn't
yeah.
go anywhere, and so I wrote a whole bunch of songs and and as soon as lockdown was over, I was going to record with my producer, so it ended up getting delayed, and so the first batch of songs I thought I was going to record with him, and then the lockdown kept going. It got extended, so I pushed it out. And then I wrote another batch of songs, and I listened back to the first batch, and I thought they're pretty sad and miserable those ones.
Oh
And
no.
I'd
Oh
already
no.
sent them to him, saying these are the ones I was going to do. And then I got back to him. I said, I don't want to do any of those ones I sent you. I want to do these ones. And so I ended up doing the newer ones, and so something like the song "Say You Come With Me" was really it was such a simple idea. Is that when all this is over and we can travel, there's a very beautiful part of the south coast of where I live, which goes down, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 kilometers down the coast, and it's spectacularly beautiful. And one morning, I had that picture of those places in my mind, and quite quickly I wrote the song "Say You'll Come With Me," and it was just saying, let's just go there. And that place could be anywhere for anybody. Everybody has that same place, but for me, it was about that place. And in the song, it says going to Eden, and there's actually a town called Eden down that coast. I know it probably sounds like, oh, Eden, is what it is, but it's actually the name of a real place.
Oh, nice. Okay, makes me want to go there. So,
Well, it's an interesting town because it's at the far south coast of where I am, and it used to be a whaling town back
interesting.
150 years ago, and now it's there's nothing. The whaling's long gone there, but the whales still come into the town, into the bay, and particularly the whales that they get mostly there are orcas that come in there,
Oh,
and so they do a
nice.
lot of obviously whale watching tours and things out of there. But it's just a really beautiful part of the world or part of Australia. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really interesting. And of course, we are talking about the title track. And tell me one thing, and tell us more about that.
Tell me one thing. That that one, I really like that kind of. Um, staccato. That one came from me just playing with a guitar feel. You know, that sort of very staccato. You go down, you know, right on the beat there, and then it's a bit like reggae or some of those things, and then the bass goes in and around it. And I heard some music like that. I said, I'd love to write a song like that, and I'm going to do it. So I
Nice.
did, and then the lyrics came off it quite quickly. And the lyrics, I couldn't tell you really where they came from. They just came. but, but but the song started out because I really love that kind of seesaw rhythm between a rhythm guitar and the bass. So you know the syncopation that to and fro between the two. And I thought I'd really like to write a song that does that.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And if there's other music out there we haven't covered, tell us more about those.
Oh yeah, so the song, funny enough, there's some songs I've written to a brief, and you know, I think I'll write a song about this. And sometimes it's good. I just come up with a single line. So a song called "This Time" was a memory of going with friends in inner city Sydney, and it's a place called Darlinghurst, which is about not far from where I live now. And they and I was talking to people and saying, you know, it's a little bit like the one who got away situation. Like,
Oh yeah, just like the fish that got away, the lady who got
yeah,
away, or
yeah, it
or
was
just
one
that
of
one
those.
thing got away, yeah, or the win,
So
yeah.
it got away, and then surprisingly it came back. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea for a song. And so I wrote a song based entirely on that idea. And it just came
more,
out of a conversation. Yeah,
more like the boomerang, don't you think?
yeah, yeah. And then acknowledging that you know it's not getting away this time. So I guess it could have been about fishing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is something. And where can we find all your music at, Garth? And especially your latest
So
release.
yeah, so the usual things. It's Spotify and Apple and SoundCloud. All those sort of all the regular places that you can find it. It's all there. You know, the people on SoundCloud really like me, so that's a really good place to go to hear me. I really quite like them because they're good for indie artists. Oh, Bandcamp, that's another one. Boy, there's so many these days. I lose track of them all. you
And
you
how
did you did very well to roll them all off so quickly.
oh yeah, I mean we're all over the place, 40 podcast platforms. You can build more at
Yeah,
your end, and most importantly, what's your website?
it's just garthadam.com. Yeah,
What's that?
it's my name, just garthadam.com.
GarthAdam.com. We'll have check it out. We're with the multi-talent Garth Adam from the UK over in Australia right now here on the Mike Wagner Show with Say You'll Come With Me. We'll be playing Tell Me One More Thing at the end of the audio interview. We encourage everybody to do that. And just a few more things, Garth, what else are we expecting in 2024 and beyond?
Well, I'm writing at the moment, so in a couple of months' time, I've already set it up. So going back to do another recording, which I want to get out at the beginning of 25. So we've already set up the dates and it's all ready to go. So that's just out of our winter, which is in a couple of months' time. So try and record as many tracks as we can there. So we'll see how we go. I've done a lot of writing already. I don't feel like I've got all of the tunes at the moment, so I'm glad I've just got a couple more months to get them all right. I've got some that I'm really happy with, and some I don't think are going to make the cut, but I haven't got any replacements at the moment, so I have to write some replacements.
Okay.
It's sometimes really good to have a deadline. You know, if I know it's booked, I'm taking up other people's time. They're making arrangements to be there at that time. I find that's a very good incentive to start writing songs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think that's a good idea. I think many of us need deadlines in this day and age, so especially yours
yeah,
truly. So yeah.
yeah, I
It's
find
not
that
just 24/7 even too. So yeah.
yeah, deadlines have. I mean, I don't know whether it's the best discipline to have, but they certainly work for me.
Uh-huh. And it works for some people too, and it works for others, and of course a lot of things too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Um, it, I I think. Let me think. It's a hard one. think in some ways, my father was really supportive, and every time he saw me get a little bit better, he'd buy a better guitar just out of the blue. And then, and then he'd come home from work and buy me records or CDs of people that blues artists or current artists, and I he really wanted me to stick at it. I think it's funny, like my parents really like music, but they never play music themselves, and I'm one of four siblings, so we all learned how to play, and my parents were completely fine about paying for music, but I was the only one that stuck at it, and he could see that, so he just kept saying, supporting it all along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you probably know lots of every parent thinks, oh, I should give my kid a shot at this, and they may like it or they won't. It's a little bit like all things, and sometimes unless you get a spark and you fall in love with it, it can feel like hard work learning an instrument. But once you get over the hump, you can't let it go. So that you have to get over the hump of getting good enough that you really enjoy it yourself. And once you're over that hump, you never need anybody else to tell you to play again.
Mm-hmm. And that's very important indeed as well too. And what's the best? Oh yeah. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Persistence, and knowing that that little 3-minute song or 3.5-minute song you did represents all the things that you've learned beforehand, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
Mm-hmm. And certainly indeed, I have to listen to something and appreciate as well too. We're here with the multi-talented Garth Adam with his latest Say You'll Come With Me here on the Mike Wagner Show from the UK and Australia right now. Garth, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
Looking forward to having soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. And once again, before we go, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
So I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, SoundCloud. I'm on Instagram. I'm easy to get on Facebook, just under Garth Adam, just my name, GARTHADM, and the website's under the same name as well.
And what's the website again?
GarthAdam.com. There's not many Garth Adams in the world, so I'm easy to find.
Well, I'm looking at right now, and bam, you're right there. So make sure everybody goes to it. So once again, Garth, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. No problem. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love to have you back. We wish all best. And Garth, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you very much. Happy to be there.